keep envisioning that, Pete, while we're going.
Okay, so we talked about the indicators we're seeing from companies that there may be kind of problems in our marketplace. We're seeing indicators from candidates that they might be influenced from all the different problems going on in our country, right? Talked about the different things that a company can be doing to weather any sort of storm that may be hitting our marketplace. Let's talk about from a candidate's perspective. What can a candidate be doing to weather any sort of storm that might come into our marketplace?
Wait 55 days. Traditionally and consistently, the economy will get a lot of uncertainty right around a presidential election. And that really just comes down to economies don't like instability. There is guaranteed change in 55 days. We don't know which way it's going to go at this point, but something's going to change.
What are you saying? Don't make a job change for the next 55 days?
No. Well, if you're really all I'm saying is like all I'm saying is like if you really like are that terrified of the instability in the market, wait 55 days. It's kind of a little bit of sarcasm to say that there really isn't that much instability. It's all going to straighten itself out in 55 days.
There are candidates that are interviewing right now.
It won't even be 55 days because once they do get elected, it's another couple months till they're actually officially sworn in. So
you're saying
wait till
January. Okay, so you guys are horribly missing the sarcasm and then the whole overtone of this. That is, economies tend to get unstable whenever there's guaranteed change, and regardless of who gets elected, the economy is going to stabilize itself. It just does. Every 8 years, it's proven that it does this, and it's going to flatten itself back out. So really, more my thing is if you want to make a job change, you feel like now's a good time to shift your career, you should do it, because by the time you make the transition and everything's going to shaking itself back out, and I go on video record of saying 1 year from now, the economy will be perfectly fine no matter who is elected.
Can
I'll argue that.
Throw one thing out there? Another thing
I
is,
don't want to argue.
I was going to say you could also learn like a new technology or something that the remainder of your coworkers don't know. If you have that step up above everybody else in the market, you're not going to get let go. If you're the only one person that knows how to use this system or code in this language or use that technology, you're not going to get laid off, and you can weather any storm.
Become good friends with your boss.
No, if you're continuously improving your technical skill set and you're obviously getting that edge on the competition, your coworkers, whoever, there's always going to be companies who are doing new things, who are going to be doing well regardless of the economy, especially in our space. And if you're taking the right steps, you're getting the education you need, you're learning new technologies, there's always going to be a market for you. There's always going to be positions, there's always going to be companies that are always interested in speaking. It's like, no matter how bad the recession gets, if I talk to a hiring manager and I have a Stanford grad, he's going to want to talk to him. There's a reason for that. I'm not saying you have to be a Stanford grad to be marketable, but take steps to make sure that you're, getting yourself to a level where you're above your competition. Focus on companies that, can survive in a bad recession. Things like social networking sites or, video gaming companies. It's the same thing as watching movies. When people are bad, yeah, you could say that someone might want to, sit there and, rethink their whole entire finances and do that every night, but that's not going to happen. When someone's, worried about not having money in the bank and not knowing where his next meal is coming from, he's going to want to hop on, play Legend of Zelda and get lost in it for 3 or 4 hours. There's always going to be a market for that. So.
Agreed. So improve your skills, right?
Yeah.
Don't focus on bunkering down and weathering any sort of a storm. You're not helping your company, you're not helping yourself. You're just playing scared, right? There's no benefit. Lose-lose for everybody. Focus on improving your skills, right? On that note, what are the hottest skills to have right now in a marketplace? Think engineers, think product, think markets. If someone were to say today, I want to improve my skills, what should they be focused on? Let's go around.
Sorry. You just throw out one in our specific markets or just in general?
What's hot right now? If someone were to say to themselves, "Damn, I want to improve my skills to be a hot commodity," what should they be thinking
in gaming? If they've got like rendering experience, I literally see every single company looking for rendering guys.
Okay, so
they're hot commodity right now.
Gaming
rendering graphics experience, it's hot right now.
That's all you got?
What, you want me to keep going?
Throw out a couple.
Well, I think rendering graphics hot. I think that if you have experience with, like on the online side of things, a lot of companies are building online practices. They're looking for a lot of Java developers, kind of consistent across the board.
Okay, we're good at rendering. So learn Java?
Yeah, depending on what
No. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, learn Java, learn graphics, learn rendering, learn C++, and you're guaranteed to have a position somewhere in some company, no matter what.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't think it's so much a matter of like which technology you pick. I mean, obviously like different newer technologies like Ruby and things like that, everyone wants that. It's like new and it's hot right now. But I think just kind of more of just niching yourself in a certain area. You know, a lot of people, you know, if you can code in 5 or 6 different object-oriented programming languages, that's great, but you're not a master of anything. You know, if you focus yourself in the Java space, continue on that, build on that, you know, get 5-6 years of strong experience, Java, J2EE, there's going to be a market for that, you know. So I think it's more important than the actual technology, it's your commitment and your level of experience in that technology.
See, I was gonna argue with that. I was gonna say people like
Sure you were.
I was gonna say people like a very well-rounded engineer, someone that can build like a web application from front to back, work on building like the back-end Java J2E technologies, and then working on like front-end JavaScript, Ajax, you know, CSS.
I agree.
So if someone is very hardcore working on back-end technologies, maybe read a book on some JavaScript, on some Ajax, pick up some of the front-end technologies. If you're working very front-end, learn about the back end, at least understand what's going on out there so you're able to do your job better.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think especially because we work with a lot of startups, these guys are wearing multiple hats, so the wider breadth of experience that they have is always going to be better. But there's the saying of, you know, jack of all trades, you know, master of none.
Yeah.
It holds true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was going to say, just like any good investor weathers the storm by having a diversified portfolio. Any good software professional, I'm going to take this way past engineering, any good software professional has a diversified portfolio as well. And I think it is important to be an expert in one area. And I don't really think you can really take yourself to the next level in your career unless you are an expert in something. I don't think you can be a jack of all trades, master of none, but I do believe the best candidates are a master of one and a jack of many trades.
Yeah.
Where they, and I take that as much a step further than being a back-end engineer and going out and learning Ajax. Take that a step forward to say being a back-end engineer and understanding the business impact that your software does and how what you do really affects not just the end user, but the bottom line. And if you can make, I really feel like the single most valuable person in our marketplace today can design a massively distributed system, can design and develop a web application, and then turn around and take that and sell it to somebody.
Yeah.
That to me is the single most valuable person today.
Or even explain.
Explain.
Or yeah, you can go so far as to explain what in the hell it's supposed to do for them. But I really think that person with the management skills, with the overall business acumen, that's the person who can back it up with technical skills. That's who's most valuable today.
Okay. General, just kind of technologies and skill sets that are in crazy demand right now. So if you're thinking about transitioning your career into any kind of area, throw out some different ideas. Front-end actual engineers. So pick up a CS degree from a top university. You know how to write clean object-oriented code. You know how to build mass web scale applications. Learn the front-end components of it. That's very, very in demand, right? So someone that could write object-oriented JavaScript, object-oriented Ajax, but could still contribute to the development of the back end. That's hot. Ruby's hot right now. Mass web scale data processing is hot. You have all these like huge web applications that take in a ton of data, like Facebook, Yahoo, Microsoft, Google, ton of data flowing, and they're all building out these technologies to process the data, make decisions based on it. If Hadoop, right? Hadoop's hot. Microsoft just built Dryad. Google's doing MapReduce stuff. I had a company tell me that if a person hasn't heard of Hadoop, then they're not worth anything, because how could someone not know Hadoop right now? That's a little bit of a far fetch, but you might want to think about picking up expertise in some of those areas. So aside from picking up your, improving your training, focus on your skills, what other things should a candidate be doing right now to, work and live within this sort of a marketplace?
Making friends with high-level people at other companies.
Yeah.
So go to networking events.
Networking events is huge. Just finding out,
Keep your head up always, right?
Yeah.
Talk to people like us.
Right.
Know what's going on in the marketplace.
Fantastic example. I think that it's career suicide to not at least be constantly cognizant of what's going on in the world around you. I'm always amazed by how many people don't know a single one of the other companies in their marketplace. I could name 10 of their headhunting firms in LA right now, and probably 3 or 4 in Seattle and 3 or 4 in San Francisco. And it's amazing to me that I'll talk to somebody and they will never have heard of the 3 or 4 biggest startups in Seattle. I mean, these guys are making national news. They're on CNN. They're on CBS. Like, these guys are making waves, and I don't even know who they are. And they're literally blocks from them. I mean, that's it's almost it's borderline irresponsible.
It's ignorant, right?
Yeah, it's borderline
As a
irresponsible.
rule, I mean, I think you should need to know your marketplace, but when a recession happens, when the economy gets bad, you have to step it up. You have to make more of a serious, conscious effort to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Go to networking
You know,
events,
besides
read
just reading,
blogs,
like,
network with your
you know,
people,
headlines.
take your head out of the sand, right?
Yeah.
And stop just doing your job and focus on like the marketplace that you're a part of. Think about your career over the next few years. In the event that there is a layoff, your company does not get their round of funding, something goes down, you're prepared and you know what to do.
You have to understand that your world is bigger than finishing your project.
Yep.
And there has to be light past that tunnel.
And
Okay.
for sure, don't make a move, you know, within the next 5
Hope you guys enjoyed.
No
Till,
sense of
next week.
sarcasm.